Let's then cross to the Free State then, and I do believe that Natasha Phiri is on standby. She has been indeed at this event throughout and the build-up to this event. Natasha, very good afternoon to you. Certainly very interesting what the President had to say today, addressing a number of issues that, you know, the general South Africans have been talking about and battling with. Talk to us about what's taking place in the Free State.
Well, thank you so much, Flo, and of course to our SA Today viewers. Just to pick up on the conversation that we had earlier on with our political editor, Zwandile, that of course you'll be speaking and dissecting and unpacking the President's speech. So just to pick up from where we left off, before we were disrupted by the loud music, but there was a lot of emphasis on service delivery from the President. And it seems as if this time around they're saying to their deployees, if we deploy you to local municipalities, if we deploy you to provincial level, if we deploy you as a minister nationally and you don't perform, you will be booted out.
Well, I think what he has said, we know about what he's been saying. I think for me, as I've been saying, so it's the implementation. So will everything that they are speaking about, will they be able to implement? The President spoke about the issue of potholes, for example. Everyone has been speaking about potholes. So if they are to be believed, they will be seen by taking action, particularly in this municipality that we are in, where infighting really has halted service delivery. So that will be the test which I think South Africans will judge this leadership by seeing that whatever they say does happen.
Seeing that there's a newly elected NEC, quite a number of them are young, members. Some have been labeled as people who really get the job done. Do you think that this time the ANC will be implementing its policies to benefit the South Africans?
I think one of the reasons I was looking at the stadium and how full the stadium was, and people who still wanted to come inside, because there does appear to be that what's the word? There does appear to be that
a sense of revival.
Yes. So people are saying maybe you are serious. So the fact that you have the majority in the ANC who are young people. So, but also again, young people alone doesn't really help if they are not able to do certain things. I think what people will do, they will monitor and watch in the next coming weeks when the President decides to reshuffle cabinet. Will he put in those young people who will be able to drive the agenda, or it will be the same old? So based on that, and then of course we have about 16 months towards the election. Between now and then, so people will look at things changing, the service delivery happening. So exactly, it is exactly.
You raised a critical point. We're 16 months away from 2024 and there's the next elections. Is it not a little bit too late for the ANC to pull up their socks now?
Well, I guess if you listen to the pundits and everyone else, so you do get a sense that whilst people believe the ANC is the party that can deliver, but they're extremely disappointed. So, and how they respond is that in the main, they simply don't go out and vote. Look at the local government elections. The ANC did very badly, but look at the turnout, only 45%. That is the first time. So that does tell you that if the ANC doesn't deliver, there is not that big switch to other political parties. So I'm sure if this leadership takes note that, well, maybe people still believe in us, so they will then act. But as I've been saying, so it is what they will do which will make people believe what they say.
We earlier heard before the President spoke, the President of COSATU, Zingisa Losi, saying that workers are tired of factionalism that continues to divide, the ANC, the movement and the tripartite alliance.
It's very interesting, the issue of the tripartite alliance. I was looking at who was elected in the NEC. Some of the key members of the NEC were not elected in the tripartite. Some of the members of the SABC, for example, were not elected in the NEC. Already you are picking up some of the rumblings. You heard Soli Mafaila 2 days ago when he basically said, so we've been hearing
also reaffirmed, their fight and their stance against corruption. And this we've seen in, the resolutions of the ANC, strengthening of the step-aside resolution. But also, our conference has said that step-aside must be applied uniformly and mustn't be used to fight any factional battles. The president has also reaffirmed the step-aside resolution. But I think what's strange is that you have officials in within the ANC, the top 7 as well, who are implicated in the state capture reports, the likes of Gwere Mantashe and Nomvula Mokonyane.
I think people will look at those implicated from all factions. So these things applied fairly, and I think that has come out very clearly from the resolution that the step-aside stands, but it must apply equally. It must not look at whose faction are you on. So once the ANC is seen to deal with those issues without looking at who is involved, perhaps people will start believing in some of the things that they've been saying about this. And also with regards to state capture, some of the people elected in the ANC still have to answer, because remember, they have said they are going to take it on review. They haven't. So we want to see someone like Jefferson, for example, the Mantasha,
yes,
and someone like Zizi, for example, the NEC member. So those are the people who are seen as the dominant faction or as the faction that won. So people will watch those things that are being applied to everyone else being applied to them as well. So if then the ANC is seen to be able to deal with those things fairly, I guess people will say maybe it's on the right track.
Mzwaya, do you understand that we have my colleague Samgele Masego, who's on the other side? Would you understand that he might actually have the Treasurer General, I beg your pardon, the Deputy President of the ANC, Paul Mashatile? Samgele, what's happening on your side?
All right, I'm not sure if Samkela Maseko heard Natasha Piri, but let me try on my end then. Samkela Maseko, I do understand, Sammy, that you are indeed, well, here we are. He is walking with the spokesperson then of the party, so we'll have to hang 10 on that one for a moment, but certainly I do understand he will, in a few minutes, be able to cross to us and have those conversations with the spokesperson, national spokesperson of the ANC, that is Molemela. So let's hang 10 on that. And while we watch those celebrations then of the ANC, which are taking place, of course, in Mangaung in the Free State, let's talk about the ANC and the struggle for what was called the struggle for the people's power, and really where the ANC sort of grew in the 1980s, where people took the liberation struggle to new heights. That's when the ANC started to see exponential growth, and really that was in the deep and darkest moments of apartheid in South Africa. Thousands of youth were able to, in fact, fight to and flooded ranks of MK. That's after the 1976 uprising, the very popular 1976 uprising that we still celebrate till today on June 16, and the violence that was used then by security forces to quell the uprising made the youths, I suppose, more determined to come back and fight. Hence, in the 80s was where we saw renewed sort of strength of the party being led by its youth, and you would have heard the president of the ANC there talking about the importance of the youth, talking about the ANC Youth League and their importance within the organization. Certainly in the past couple of years, we've seen the ANC Youth League in a way taking a back seat, but it seems as though the ANC president was talking about, and I'll use the word renewal again, a renewal in a sense of the ANC Youth League, a renewal of the youth, which was very instrumental in really fighting for the black majority back in those days. And of course, reforms proposed by the then government, such as the Black Local Authorities Act in African townships, which were totally rejected and only gave rise to greater resistance, and that greater resistance, led to community organizations such as civic, student and youth organizations and women's structures beginning to spring up sort of all over the place in support of the ANC. And we later started seeing these movements becoming what we now know as, for instance, the ANC Women's League. Some might be fragmented now, but certainly back in those days, these were very united structures of the ANC, and this was the rebirth of the mass Congress movement and led to the formation of many other organizations. We talk about worker organizations too. In 1985, the ANC calling on township residents to make townships ungovernable by destroying the black local authorities. Councillors and police were called on to resign. Municipal buildings and homes of collaborators were attacked as the administrative system broke down. People established their own democratic structures to run the community, including street committees and people's courts, which were certainly all very instrumental in the growth of the ANC. All right, we're going to take a short break and certainly come back. Hopefully we'll be able to get in touch then with Samkele Maseko. We do understand he is, as he certainly does, doorstop some of the politicians. I understand he is trying indeed at this point to have conversations with some of the prominent leaders of the ANC. Stay tuned for that. Do stay with us here on SABC News.